Hey everybody!
Hello!
Welcome back. We're keeping up the enthusiasm here.
Just keep rolling.
Same day, series 2. We moved from the chicken coop project. Chicken coop poop project to putting in our garden fence. Now
Might as well do it.
This is gonna be our, hopefully, cross your fingers, deer-proof garden fence.
Yeah, they've been walking right through this garden without a fence in it.
Yeah, so we've got our supplies here in front of us, and we're gonna put in some corner posts today and some posts along the edges, and then we'll see how far we get. We probably won't get into putting up the fencing today, but we'll bring you along that on the next day when we get going on that project. So
we'll at least get it started today, bring you along for the start of the build.
Yep.
See what happens from here.
So just quickly, we can show you some of the things we're using. Here we have 8-foot steel posts. These are T-posts you can pick up at a hardware store. They're 8 foot long. They go in the ground about 1.5 feet. So it gives you about 6.5 feet out of the ground. And here we got our wedge lock system. As you can see here, these help you use T-posts to make your corner posts so that you have a nice ability to tighten your fencing. And you have a nice solid corner. So we saw those on other homesteader videos, and we thought that looked like a cool product, so we're going to try those out. Then we have some 4x4 by 10 foot. These are going to go about 4 foot in the ground, and those are going to be set for our main gate to get in the garden. And we're probably going to set that right over there. So
I think if we don't get into anything today, it might not be that.
Yeah, well, I got all the stuff, so it's just 2 holes. I think I can dig it. Can you dig it? She can dig it. All right, let's get started.
Woo!
There you go. That's deep enough.
Woo!
About 36 inches, 3 feet deep.
Oops.
That'll give us 7 foot up top.
Sweet sauce, boss.
There you go.
A little loopy because we're getting tired, but so I forgot to pick up the camera when Andy got the first one in. I'll show you how the second one goes in, but ultimately here's what the wedge lock looks like. So it holds a T-post in to brace it so that you have more of an accurate 90-degree angle.
Well, it's also so that when you put tension here on the corner with your fence, it holds it square, because it transfers the pull down to the base where it won't move. So here is flexible, down there at the bottom isn't. So you're transferring that down to the bottom. So it's supposed to give you a nice strong corner. So we need to move that down one.
Okay. All right. One.
Actually, move it down a ways.
Up there.
Down farther.
Oh, even further. Okay. Like down here.
There we go.
There.
There we go.
Sounds good. Let's keep going.
Now, we have these little wedges on the back here
What do they look like?
to tighten it up.
Oh.
Going like that. I might need a hammer.
Since the last time I picked up the camera, we did finish all of this. And we got these posts in. And some over there. So we're gonna keep going over here. Alright, let's see how you go this way just a little bit. Yep. Here. Pinch that way. So as you saw in that last clip, we used our last T-post. We didn't account for the wedge locks originally when we purchased the T-post, so we'll need, I think it's like 6 or 8 more T-posts. Totally fine. But we're kind of at a standstill with that right now. Since it's about 6 p.m. We're not going to run anywhere and get T-posts.
These wedge locks were designed for post to post, T-post to T-post, but since we're going to be putting a gate in here, we put these 2 wood posts in. So basically I've engineered a way to make this work. I'm sure wedge lock probably has components for attaching to a wood post or something like that, but for now I've just got a couple of screws here, some wood lag screws, and then I'm going to use the hole here. It'll actually go through this area right here because the post will push up on it. So I'll screw that through there, and that will give us our spot here on the post. And as you can see here, I marked out where it is needing to be. There we go. So then when we get our fence tacked on here and start pulling it that way, this will secure it in place there on the bottom post. I think that's gonna work. What do you think?
Looks good.
All right, number 2.
Andy's gotten started on wrapping the fence. So we put the rabbit guard on the bottom. You can see down here it's a little tighter and it gets wider up here. And we'll put it all the way around the bottom of the fence. Right, Andy?
What she said.
And then he's just attaching it with the T-post clips.
Oops, that's not the right one. There's a special tool for this
We don't have it.
that makes this whole thing much easier. It's either a new day, or we're still working on this fence, or the weather's just changing it a lot. But it's really just a new day. And so we just got started here by rolling out our fence. So this is the woven wire fence that we're going to be putting on the top layer. So as you can see, we've got the bottom layer all tacked on here already. Now we're just going to be going with this bottom layer. So we're gonna need to stretch this fence a little bit. So we got a couple of boards I'm gonna need to use to put this together. To use as a fence stretcher. We'll connect that to the tractor, use the tractor for stretching the fence. It's not the best way, but it's the tools I got right now to do the job, so that's how we're gonna do it. That, and it's a garden fence. We're not covering super large distances here either, so not trying to hold back cattle or anything like that, so this should work good enough for our needs. So we'll get that fence stretcher set up. We got the roll rolled out here, and first I'm going to get it attached to that first post. So let's get started on that. Okay, so step one here is on our first post. We've got our post all braced, of course, but then you can see we wrapped it around the post and then hooked it back in on itself all the way down. So now what we're just going to do is tighten these around, get it tight on the post, and then we'll be ready to pull this out and get it stretched to the other end. So here we go. Right. So here's the two boards that I've put aside for the fence stretcher. They're a little longer than needed, but basically we're just gonna put them together, drill holes through both sides, and then use bolts to clamp them together. And then that will be what we wrap. So we'll wrap a chain around it, clamp that tight. We'll clamp them tight with the bolts on either side of the fence. The fence will go in between here and get pinched nice and tight. And then we'll use the log chain with the tractor to pull tight on the fence. Another thing you could use is like a traditional fence stretcher, which is like a pulley where you tie it to the post at the other corner and then you pull it tight that way. That's another way to do it. We're gonna try this, see how this goes, and if not, we'll change it up. All right, so here's our board. You can see we've got 3 spots here where I've drilled holes, and third one here. So this just goes through there like that, and then it tightens on the other side. With a 1/2 inch nut there. So this should pinch on our fence, and then we'll wrap our log chain around that. And let's go put it on. Okay, so here's as far as I've gotten so far. It's going okay. It's not the greatest in the world, but you can see we've been using this tractor here to kind of lift it up to the height I need it at and stretch it. So as you can see, it's nice and tight across the top. We got it started down at the end there and got around this corner. So getting there, we're about halfway done now, and I'm just using these clips, as you can see here, to attach the wire to the post. So I'm just going around and doing that. I'm leaving the bottoms undone for now. I'll come and tie those together to the other fence when I get done on the other side. So when I get done putting it all the way around. So that's the progress so far. Halfway done. Let's finish up. A little different because it's actually not on the... There, we got it pulled mostly tight, at least as much as the tractor will handle. And we'll go and start clipping it up.
It's done.
All right, it's almost done.
Almost done.
But we got the top wire up. I've got some finishing touches to do yet on securing the bottom wires together, both to the post and to the lower, rabbit guard fencing that we put on the bottom. You can buy some clips, some wire clips to do that quickly. So I might invest in that. Otherwise, another good option is zip ties, although they don't last as long.
They
so
break
I
down
probably
since they're
won't do
plastic.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, the last finishing touch of all will be the gate at the end.
Which you have built.
And I have built the gate.
Just have to get
We just
the
have to
appropriate...
put the hinges on it and
hinges.
the latches, and then that'll be ready to go as well. So this is good because
we can plant.
We are in desperate need to start planting.
Our cold weather stuff like our peas, radishes,
and we also have
we can,
stuff started inside that can start coming out pretty soon. So
yeah, we can move our kale and Swiss chard outside.
But definitely got to get the peas in. If we don't get those in early, they get into the hot part of the summer, and you get like
nothing.
Yeah,
because they get mildewy. So.
They get mildew. Yep. Yeah, and then your pea harvest is done. So
this video is a lot of work, but.
Fencing isn't necessarily entertaining or fun.
This has been a few-week process in getting this completed.
But what do you think, honey? Will that keep the deer out?
I really hope so. I mean, if they do a running jump, if a deer can jump over that, we got problems.
Yeah, and the reality is it'll be even a little higher than that yet because they still have some insulators and some wire to string around.
That's right.
The very top.
Yep.
And that's
so if they get over that.
That's just an extra couple inches.
I guess they deserve the munching on the kale or whatever that they're gonna do.
But hey, we'll see how it works. We'll let you know. It's definitely gonna keep the
bunnies out.
The bunny rabbits out and that kind of thing.
Maybe not the raccoons if they can climb. If they want to get to the corn that bad, they'll get it.
Yeah, that's what we'll electrify the top wire for the raccoons. So if they try to climb over, they get a
whoa.
So
that's all we got today.
Yeah, well, that's all we got for you today.
The sun is like literally just about to go down.
I'm relieved to get it done. It's been sitting on my brain for a couple of weeks now.
In all honesty, this past week it's been windy and like 40 degrees and cloudy and freezing rain, a little bit of snow. Like
when we had pigs come and and all kinds of other activities going on. So, you know, I was able to build the gate and do that stuff, but we're almost there. It's time to plant. That's coming up next. And we'll leave you with a beautiful, almost done sunset.